Hello, my dear friends. Today I'm going to share with you a very special story on the topic: the easiest way to learn English at home. This is a true to life, deeply explained story told from the heart of a young student named Emma Carter. If you are someone who struggles to speak English, who understands words but freezes during conversations, who wants to improve but doesn't know where to start, then Emma's story will feel like your own. She speaks directly, honestly, and emotionally, not like a teacher, but like a real friend who has lived through the same confusion, the same fears, and the same long nights of doubt. Hi, my name is Emma Carter. I'm 20 years old and I live in Austin, Texas, United States. I'm currently a college student, studying psychology. But the biggest challenge in my life hasn't been my exams. It's been learning to speak English confidently. Yes, I know that sounds surprising because I live in the US, but trust me, just living here doesn't magically make you fluent. I was born here, but I grew up in a Spanish-speaking family. English was always the second language in my home, and somehow, that made a huge difference in my confidence. Growing up, I could understand English really well. I could watch movies, understand my teachers, even read books. But when it came to talking, I just froze. My mouth wouldn't move. I would overthink every word, wondering if I sounded stupid, if my grammar was off, if people were judging me. Every time someone asked me something in class, I would nod or say, "Yeah," and then go quiet. I felt stuck, frustrated, and honestly, embarrassed. But everything changed last year. And today, I want to share how it changed, how I finally found the easiest way to learn English at home, how I turned my fear into fluency, step by step, day by day. It all started during summer break, when I was at home feeling lost. I remember sitting on my bed one night, scrolling through videos on my phone, when I came across a video titled, "You Don't Need a Classroom to Speak Fluent English." The girl in the video was from India, and she shared how she learned English at home, using simple methods. That night, something clicked in me. I thought, if she can do it, why not me? I took a deep breath and made a promise to myself. I will learn to speak English, and I'll do it from home. I don't care how long it takes. So now, let me walk you through everything I did. Not theory, not textbook tips, just real, honest steps that helped me. Maybe they can help you too. Step 1. Create your English environment at home. The first thing I realized is that language is like air. You need to breathe it in every day. But my house was filled with Spanish. My mom, my dad, even my little brother. Everyone spoke Spanish. So I knew I had to create my own English world inside my world. I started small. I changed the language on my phone to English. I started watching only English YouTube videos, but not the complicated grammar ones. I watched vloggers, podcasts, casual interviews. I fell in love with one podcast called The English Chat Room, where people spoke slowly and naturally. I played it while brushing my teeth, cooking, cleaning, everything. Then I took it a step further. I started thinking in English. This was hard at first. I would walk around the house saying things like, "I'm opening the fridge," or "I'm going to wash the dishes." My brother laughed at me once and said, "You're talking to yourself." But I didn't care. I smiled and said, "I'm practicing English." That's when I created my little English corner in my room, a small table, a notebook, sticky notes, and a mirror. I put up words like confidence, believe, and don't stop. That was my safe space. Every night, I sat there and practiced. Step 2. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Yes, I know it sounds silly, but this was a game changer. I would look in the mirror and say, "Hi, my name is Emma. I'm 20 years old. I live in Texas. I love dancing and reading. At first, it felt weird. I sounded robotic, but I kept going. Every day, I added something new. What did I do today? What do I want tomorrow? How do I feel right now? It became my daily routine. In the beginning, I would speak for just 2 minutes, then 5 minutes, then 10th. I would pretend to interview myself like a talk show. I would imagine someone asking me, "Tell me about your dreams, Emma." And I would answer. This helped me hear my own voice in English. It helped me stop being scared of how I sounded. Slowly, I became comfortable with myself. That's where confidence starts. With you. Step 3. Record and listen to yourself. After 2 weeks of mirror talk, I tried something new. I picked up my phone, opened the voice recorder, and started talking. At first, I hated my voice. I sounded nervous, too fast, too quiet. But I kept recording. I would talk about anything: my college, my dog, my favorite food. Then I would listen to myself. You know what? Listening to myself helped me find my weak points. I noticed where I paused too much, where I used or and I worked on those areas. It was like being my own coach. Over time, I started sounding clearer. I even smiled while recording. One day, I sent a voice message in English to my cousin in New York. She was shocked and said, "Wow, Emma, you sound so confident." That made my whole week. Step 4. Use English in real conversations. Once I built some confidence at home, I wanted to try speaking with real people, but I didn't want to start with strangers. So I asked my best friend Jessica, who's also bilingual, to speak to me only in English for 1 hour every weekend. At first, it was awkward. We kept switching to Spanish by accident, but we laughed, corrected each other, and kept going. That 1 hour a week became 2, then more. Then I joined an online English speaking group on Zoom called Speakeasy USA. It was free, and we practiced every Wednesday evening. People from different cities joined in. John from Seattle, Priya from Chicago, Daniel from Miami. Everyone was trying, just like me. That's when I realized you don't have to be perfect to speak. You just have to be willing. People will understand you, even with mistakes. And the more you talk, the fewer mistakes you make. Step 5. Don't focus on grammar, focus on flow. This was probably the biggest breakthrough for me. I used to get stuck trying to remember the correct tense. Should I say I have eaten or I ate? But you know what? When you're in a real conversation, flow matters more than perfection. So I stopped pausing to think about grammar. I focused on finishing my sentences, even if they weren't 100% perfect. And surprisingly, people understood me. Over time, my grammar got better on its own, just by listening and speaking more. That's when I learned this golden rule. You learn to speak by speaking, not by studying speaking. Step 6. Make English a daily habit, not a big task. If you try to learn English only once a week, you'll never improve. I made English part of my daily life. I set a rule: at least 30 minutes of English every single day. No excuses. Even if I was tired, I would talk for 5 minutes in the mirror. Even if I was busy, I would listen to a podcast while walking. English became part of my routine, just like brushing my teeth. And that consistency is what made the biggest difference. I still remember the day I decided to challenge myself beyond my comfort zone. It was a crisp Saturday morning in October, and I had signed up, on a complete whim, for a spoken word poetry open mic at a small cafe in downtown Austin. My heart pounded as I held the flyer in my hand, palms sweaty. What if I freeze? I thought. What if nobody understands me? Yet something inside whispered, "You've come this far. Don't stop now." That week, I spent every evening scripting a short poem about home and belonging, practicing it in my mirror corner. I recorded myself reciting it over and over, tweaking my rhythm, my pauses, my tone. I practiced gesturing with my hands, locking eyes with my reflection. I learned that language isn't just words, it's body, emotion, breath. When the night finally came, I walked onto that tiny stage under a single spotlight. The cafe was dim, a handful of strangers drinking coffee and nodding along as the previous poet finished. My throat felt tight, my legs trembled. But then I took a deep breath and remembered what flow over perfection meant. I started. I'm Emma Carter, and this is my home, not walls of brick, but words I've grown. From whispered doubts in silent rooms to spoken truths beneath these moons, the words tumbled out. My voice quivered at first, but by the second stanza, I felt the audience lean in. Faces softened, eyes glistened. When I finished, the room burst into applause. I realized my English had not only become clear, it had become mine, a medium for my truths, embracing new challenges. That courage opened doors I hadn't imagined. Volunteering as a conversation partner. At my university's language center, I signed up to help international students practice English. Twice a week, I'd sit with a student from China, or Brazil, or Germany, and we'd talk about life back home, our favorite movies, our dreams. In helping them, I sharpened my own skills. I learned to explain idioms, it's raining cats and dogs, to navigate cultural references, and to laugh at my occasional mistakes. Joining a drama club. I love storytelling, so I auditioned for the campus theater's spring production of Our Town. Playing the role of Emily Webb meant memorizing lines, understanding subtext, and projecting emotion. It was terrifying and exhilarating. Each rehearsal challenged me to inhabit English in a living body, not just in my quiet room. Recording a YouTube channel. Remember that podcast I loved? I thought, why not start my own? So, with a borrowed webcam, I began posting weekly vlogs. Emma's Easy English Tips. I'd share mini lessons, how to use phrasal verbs like look forward to, how to sound more natural with contractions, or how to master the tricky th sound. My channel didn't go viral, but the small community of subscribers, mostly fellow learners, offered feedback, encouragement, and questions that pushed me to research and refine my own understanding. The power of self-reflection. Through all this, I kept my trusty notebook, a place not just for new vocabulary, but for self-reflection. Every Sunday, I'd write, Wins of the Week, spoke confidently in class Q&A, understood a British accent on Netflix, helped my Brazilian partner learn break a leg, struggles to work on, need more practice with past perfect tense, still hesitate with would versus used to, nervous about long monologues, goals for next week, have a 10-minute conversation entirely in English with Jessica, watch one TED Talk without subtitles, write a 200-word journal entry in English daily. That ritual kept me honest. It showed me progress when I felt stuck. It reminded me that learning isn't linear. It's full of peaks and valleys, and that's okay. Finding joy in the journey. One of the biggest shifts was learning to celebrate small victories. I no longer waited for a perfect grammar report card. Instead, I'd thrill at ordering coffee without fumbling. One latte, please, with almond milk. Making a phone reservation with the library. Hello, I'd like to reserve study room B for Thursday afternoon. understanding jokes in a comedy special on Netflix, laughter echoing before I even saw the subtitles. After I shared my journey online through my YouTube videos and in college groups, something amazing started to happen. I began receiving messages from students across the country, and even internationally. Some were from high schoolers in California who said, "Emma, I was afraid to speak English, but now I try a little every day." Others came from moms in small towns in India or Nigeria, trying to help their kids learn English at home. And one message I'll never forget was from a girl in Ohio. "Hi, Emma. I'm 18 and just like you. I sit in my room every day, trying to speak in English, but no one listens. Your story felt like mine. Thank you for not giving up." That moment made me cry, because I remembered sitting alone in my room, whispering English words to myself, unsure if it was even worth trying. And now, my little story was encouraging someone else to find their voice. That's when I understood. English isn't just a language, it's a bridge, a mirror, a light, and I wasn't alone anymore. Finding balance with real life. While my English was improving, I also had to balance my studies, part-time job, and personal life. I worked evenings at a bookstore downtown. The first few weeks, I mostly stayed quiet at the register. I was afraid of making a mistake or mispronouncing a customer's name. But one afternoon, a regular customer came in, a woman named Lisa. She said cheerfully, "You always smile, but you never talk. What's your name, sweetie?" I smiled nervously. "Emma." "Well, Emma, I hope you know you're doing great here." That small comment gave me confidence. After that, I began initiating small talk with customers. "How's your day going?" "What book are you reading now?" I wasn't just learning English anymore. I was living in it. When life got hard, but it wasn't always easy. There was a period, maybe around February, when everything felt heavy. I was tired, stressed, and a bit burned out. My English learning felt stuck. I couldn't think of the right words anymore. My YouTube channel had fewer views. I even failed one of my psychology midterms. And worst of all, I started hearing that mean voice in my head again. "Why are you even trying? You'll never be fluent." So I did something I hadn't done in a while. I called my mom. We talked for over an hour. I told her everything. She didn't give me any magic advice. She just said, "Emma, your heart is strong. You've made it this far because you believe in yourself. That's your power." That night, I sat with my old notebook. I flipped back to the first page where I had written, "Goal: speak English confidently." And I realized I was doing it, even if imperfectly. Sometimes we forget to see how far we've come because we're so focused on what's next. But I promised myself that day, no matter how slow the journey feels, I won't stop walking. A new chapter: internships and public speaking. The next big opportunity came in the spring of that year when our college announced a competition called Speak to Lead, a public speaking challenge for students. My heart skipped a beat. A year ago, I couldn't even imagine raising my hand in class. But something inside me whispered again, "Do it, Emma." I signed up. And for weeks, I prepared my speech about learning without fear. I practiced in front of friends, recorded myself, and rewrote my speech again and again. On the day of the event, I stood on a stage in front of nearly 100 people, professors, students, judges, and I said, "Hi, my name is Emma Carter." A year ago, I was afraid to speak English aloud. Today, I'm using English to speak from my heart, and if I can do it, anyone can. I didn't win the competition, but I won my courage. And guess what? One of the judges, a professor from the communications department, approached me afterward and said, "Emma, would you like to join our summer internship program as a communications assistant?" I was stunned. English, which once felt like my weakness, had now become my ticket to opportunities. The easiest way to learn English at home, my final words, looking back now, after nearly 2 years of learning English, mostly from home, I want to share exactly what worked for me in case someone reading this is just getting started. 1. Create a mini English world at home, from sticky notes on walls to changing your phone language. Surround yourself with English. Let it become the background music of your life. 2. Make speaking a daily habit, even if it's just talking to yourself while brushing your hair or walking around the room. Use your voice. Get used to the sound of English in your mouth. 3. Watch, mimic, repeat. Watch real people talk on YouTube, in interviews, on shows. Pause. Repeat their sentences. Copy their tone. You're not stealing, you're learning rhythm. 4. Keep a daily journal. Write about your day, your emotions, your dreams, in English. This builds vocabulary and emotional connection with the language. 5. Connect with one person. Find a friend, a pen pal, or a language exchange partner. Practicing with even one person makes a huge difference. 6. Celebrate small wins. Whether it's saying a full sentence confidently or understanding a joke, treat each one like a step forward. Because it is. So, here I am today. I'm Emma Carter. I'm 20. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm still a student, still learning, still improving. My English isn't perfect, but it's real. It's alive. It's mine. And if you're reading this, sitting in your room somewhere, afraid to speak, I want you to know you don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to begin. Turn your home into your classroom. Turn your fear into curiosity. Turn your voice into your strength. Because if I can do it, so can you. Learning English at home can be easy, fun, and effective if you use the right techniques. You don't need to travel to another country or pay a lot of money. All you need is your time, interest, and consistency. Below are 12 deeply explained tips and tricks based on real experience. 1. Think in English. Start inside your mind. What it means. Start converting your thoughts into English, even if you don't speak them out loud. Why it works. When you think in English, your brain becomes used to forming English sentences naturally. You break the habit of translating from your native language. How to do it. When you wake up, say in your mind, I need to brush my teeth now. While cooking, I am cutting vegetables. Now I will boil the water. Describe what you see around. The sky is cloudy. My laptop is on the table. Start simple. Don't worry about mistakes. Thinking is private. Practice freely. 2. Speak to yourself out loud. Every day, what it means. Talk to yourself in English every day at home, in your room, or in front of a mirror. Why it works. Speaking regularly trains your mouth and muscles to get used to English sounds. It boosts your confidence and fluency. How to do it. Stand in front of a mirror and describe your day. Today I woke up late. I made coffee. I studied math. Pretend to have a conversation. Hi, Emma. How are you? I'm good, thank you. Record your voice daily for 2 minutes. Listen to improve your tone. Start with 2 to 5 minutes a day. Gradually speak longer. This is how Emma started. 3. Watch and imitate. Use TV, YouTube, and movies. What it means. Use English videos and copy what native speakers say. Why it works. This helps you learn real pronunciation, natural phrases, and tone. You understand how English is actually spoken. How to do it. Watch videos with subtitles. Netflix, YouTube. Pause and repeat after each sentence. Use the shadowing technique. Play the sentence and speak at the same time. Use channels like BBC, Learning English, English Addict, or Emma's Story Style channels. Even 20 minutes a day can change your fluency. 4. Keep an English diary. Write every day what it means. Write about your thoughts, feelings, or daily activities in English. Why it works. Writing improves your sentence structure, grammar, and vocabulary. How to do it. Use a simple notebook. Start with 5 lines a day. Today I felt tired. I studied English. I talked to my mom. Use online grammar checkers, like Grammarly, to learn from mistakes. Don't aim for perfect grammar. Just write daily. Emma wrote a journal every night to track progress. You can too. 5. Use English apps. Practice anywhere what it means. Use mobile apps to practice listening, speaking, grammar, and vocabulary. Why it works. Apps offer quick learning moments, games, and reminders. They make learning fun. Best apps to try. Duolingo, vocabulary and grammar games. Hello English, speaking practice. Cake, daily speaking videos. Elsa Speak, pronunciation practice. Google Assistant, practice conversations with a virtual voice. Try using one app in the morning and one before sleep. 6. Label your world. Stick notes on everything, what it means. Write English words on sticky notes and place them on items in your house. Why it works. Visual reminders help your brain link objects with their English names. How to do it. Label items like mirror, refrigerator, light switch, door, pillow. Say the word every time you see it. Change the notes every week to learn new words. It's a simple and fun method Emma used in her room. 7. Join speaking communities, online or local. What it means. Talk to real people in English online or in real life. Why it works. Real conversations improve your fluency faster than books or grammar lessons. Where to find speaking partners, Facebook groups, English speaking practice, apps, Tandem, Hello Talk, speaky online forums like Reddit, R English Learning, local library conversation groups. Even 15 minutes of chatting weekly helps a lot. Start with texts, then voice calls. 8. Read aloud, storybooks, articles, or anything what it means. Read English content out loud every day. Why it works. Reading aloud improves pronunciation, rhythm, and speaking speed. How to do it. Choose easy English stories, like The Little Prince or short blog posts. Read slowly with clear voice. If you don't know a word, highlight and learn it later. Make it a 10-minute morning habit. 9. Create a daily English routine. What it means. Set a fixed time every day to practice different English skills. Why it works. Daily routine builds discipline and consistency, the key to success. Example routine. Morning, 10 minutes vocabulary plus 10 minutes listening. YouTube. Afternoon, 15 minutes speaking to yourself. Evening, 10 minutes writing plus 10 minutes reading before sleep. 5-minute revision. Emma followed a similar structure. You can build your own plan too. 10. Learn sentences, not just words. What it means. Learn common phrases instead of only individual words. Why it works. English is made of phrases. If you learn, I'm just looking around, it's more useful than just the word look. How to do it. Use phrase books or online lists of expressions. Learn phrases like, could you help me, please? What do you mean by that? I'll get back to you later. Speak them aloud and use them in your daily life. 11. Accept mistakes. Mistakes mean you're learning what it means. Don't be afraid to speak incorrectly. Focus on practice, not perfection. Why it works. Confidence grows when you stop fearing mistakes. Real learning happens when you try, fail, and try again. What Emma did. She used to speak wrong grammar at first, but her message was understood. With time, her grammar improved. So remember, mistakes are proof you're trying. 12. Listen to English stories, just like Emma's. What it means. Hear stories in English to learn real emotion, expression, and storytelling style. Why it works. Your brain connects with stories more than rules. It builds deep memory. How to do it. Listen to English story podcasts, like The English We Speak or Emma's Journey. Read aloud those stories. Retell them in your own words. Listening to emotional and real-life stories helps you connect with the language deeply. 13. Learn through music and lyrics. What it means. Use English songs to boost listening, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Why it works. Music is memorable. Melodies and rhythms help you internalize new words and expressions naturally. How to do it. Choose a song you love in English. Ideally, start with slower ballads or acoustic versions. Read the lyrics while you listen. Pause after each line, repeat it out loud, and notice how the singer articulates sounds. Translate challenging phrases, e.g., break my heart, pull me through, by writing them in your notebook with examples. Sing along, first with lyrics, then try from memory. This improves fluency and muscle memory for English sounds. Create a lyrics journal. Jot down new vocabulary, idioms, or pronunciation notes from each song. 14. Incorporate podcasts and audiobooks. What it means. Make audio content part of your daily routine to sharpen listening comprehension and natural speech rhythms. Why it works. Regular exposure to native speakers talking naturally helps you acquire intonation, speed, and connected speech. How to do it. Select a podcast at your level. Beginner-friendly shows like ESL Pod or story-driven series like This American Life. Listen during chores or commutes so it becomes a passive but powerful habit. Take notes on expressions, slang, or cultural references you hear. Shadow speakers. Replay short segments and speak along with them in real time, matching pace and tone. Gradually increase difficulty. Once you master easier podcasts, move to news shows like NPR's Up First or audiobooks of your favorite novels. 15. Engage with social media in English. What it means. Use platforms like Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok to read posts, watch short videos, and comment in English. Why it works. Social media offers bite-sized, authentic language use, slang, memes, current events that keeps learning relevant and fun. How to do it. Follow English content creators in niches you enjoy: cooking, fitness, DIY. Read daily captions and highlight 3 to 5 new words or hashtags each day. Leave comments. Start with simple emojis or great post, then work up to full sentences, e.g., I love this recipe, can't wait to try it. Create your own posts or stories in English. Share a photo and write a few sentences describing it. Use language learning hashtags like #LearnEnglish or #EnglishTips to find community posts and join conversations. 16. Use graded readers and easy books. What it means. Read simplified books written for different proficiency levels, graded readers. Why it works. These books match your current ability, providing comprehensible input without overwhelming you with unknown words. How to do it. Choose a level. A 1 for beginners, up to B2 for upper intermediate. Read aloud. Improves pronunciation and fluency. Underline new vocabulary. Write definitions and example sentences in a separate notebook. Summarize each chapter orally in 1 to 2 sentences to practice speaking and comprehension. Progress gradually. Once you finish a level, move up or switch to a short novel with simple language, like Charlotte's Web or The Wizard of Oz. 17. Play language games and puzzles. What it means. Use crosswords, word searches, Scrabble, or mobile games designed for English learners. Why it works. Games make learning interactive and reinforce vocabulary, recall under play conditions, which reduces stress. How to do it. Download word game apps like Wordscapes or 7 Little Words. Print or find online crosswords tailored to ESL learners. Set daily game goals. Solve 1 crossword, play a 5-minute word game, or compete in a Scrabble match with friends. Turn puzzles into speaking practice. When you find a word, say a full sentence using it. Track your scores to see progress, and celebrate improvements to stay motivated. 18. Teach English to someone else. What it means. Explaining concepts or words to another learner or imaginary student deepens your own understanding. Why it works. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts, clarify grammar rules, and find simple explanations, reinforcing your knowledge. How to do it. Pair up with a friend or family member who wants to learn English. Prepare mini lessons. Focus on one topic, e.g., past tense, common idioms, pronunciation of teat. Use visual aids. Draw simple diagrams or use sticky notes on a whiteboard. Ask your student to practice. Let them repeat after you, then correct gently. Rotate roles. Let them teach you something in their native language. This makes it fun and reciprocal. 19th plan, immersion days at home. What it means. Choose one day or half day per week to use only English. No native language allowed. Why it works. Intensive bursts of immersion accelerate learning by forcing your brain to operate in English continuously. How to do it. Inform your household. Ask family or roommates to speak only English with you during that period. Prepare activities. Watch an English movie, cook using an English recipe, read an English article, journal in English. Set specific goals. By the end of the day, be able to explain a recipe, summarize the movie plot, and write a paragraph about your experience. Reflect afterward. Note what was easy, what was hard, and plan strategies for improvement. 20. Use AI chatbots for conversation practice. What it means. Chat with AI tools, like language chatbots, in English to simulate real dialogue without pressure. Why it works. You get instant responses, unlimited practice, and the ability to ask for corrections or explanations. How to do it. Choose a chatbot. For example, a language learning bot in an app or web-based AI chat. Start simple. Ask, "How are you today?" Or, "What did you do this morning?" Request feedback. Ask the bot, "Can you correct my sentence?" Or, "Is this grammatically correct?" Practice challenging scenarios, like job interviews, dating conversations, or giving directions. Review transcripts. Save the chat and highlight patterns where you made errors to work on.